All right, we're ready for our third set of V-folds. So today what we're going to be looking at is we're going to be looking at how you can use one single V-fold, and by changing the angle of the V-fold, you can impact the design of your pop-up. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at that now. So the first thing I'm going to do is go over all the materials you're going to need. It's the same materials we've been using, but in case you've forgotten or you need a reminder, you need your visual journal, a ruler if you have it, again if you don't, that's okay, a protractor if you have it, if you don't, you'll just have to estimate. You're going to need scissors, a pencil, you're going to need this sheet of paper that we prepared in the first video. This was the second half of our measurements. Some type of glue, whether that's white glue or a glue stick. If you're using white glue, remember I like to use it with a brush, that's your choice. And then a scrap piece of paper. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to move these materials out of the way and we'll go ahead and get to work. Okay, so go ahead and grab that sheet of paper we prepared in the first video, and what we're going to do now is we are going to cut out this rectangle, which measures 5 by 8 inches. So it's the same size as your visual journal page. So go ahead and cut that out neatly. Go ahead and set those scraps aside for now. Okay, so we've got this prepared. The next thing we're going to do is we are going to fold this in half. And we are going to turn our paper vertically, or portrait orientation, and we are going to match those edges up just like we've been doing all along. So we're going to make a fold. Maybe use 2 fingers to press it down since it's a larger sheet of paper than we have been working with. Do the same thing at the bottom. Okay, so that when you open it up, it should look like this. You're going to set this aside. And I want you to grab your visual journal that you're working in. Okay, so we need to prepare this page just like we've done for these. So we have our pop-ups working. So I'm going to flip those over. And I'm going to turn my journal this way just because it's a little bit easier for me to fold it this way, especially because this paper is thicker. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take this bottom edge and we're going to fold it up to these notches along the top here. Take your time with your folding. You really want to get a nice fold. Especially with this one, you're going to want to go over it with your scissors or a glue stick, just something to really press that down firmly. Okay, open it back up, and we've prepared our page with our gutter or gully, I should say. All right, and we're going to go ahead and set this aside now. Okay, we're going to grab this thinner piece of paper we just folded. And remember, if I'm going too fast for you, pause the video and rewind it as needed. All right, so today we're actually going to be making 3 cuts in this paper, 3 pop-ups. So the first thing we want to do is we want to make our measurement marks. So grab your ruler if you have it. If you don't have your ruler, you're going to estimate. I'm going to put this green paper underneath so that you can see my measurements a little bit closer, and I may zoom in just a touch. Hopefully you're getting pretty good at reading a ruler at this point. Okay, so the first mark that we're going to do, we're going to make a mark at 2 inches, 4 inches, and 7 inches. So I'm going to turn my ruler this way, and I'm measuring down from the top. So you're going to take the line for the 0, match that up with the edge of the paper. You're going to make a mark at 2 inches, a mark at 4 inches, and a mark at 7 inches. Okay? Now, for each of those, what you're going to do is you are going to then measure 1 inch from that mark. So line the 0 up with the folded edge, and you're going to measure 1 inch. If you don't have a ruler, it's about the span of a knuckle, so approximately, depending on how large your hands are. Okay, so we've got our paper set up. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to grab our protractor. And for our first cut, we're going to be doing a 20-degree angle. So we're going to line our protractor up. So the line on the protractor and the line you just drew are going to line up, and you want that to hit this vertical line in the center. Okay, so the end of the horizontal line is hitting at this vertical line. All right, so we're going to measure a 20-degree angle. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to have to estimate a little bit because I can't really mark this on my paper while having the protractor there. So what I'm doing is I'm placing my protractor on, or my ruler on top of my protractor. Now I have a couple of choices. I can just carefully slide that out and measure. It's an approximation. Or I could try moving this over on a scrap paper, lining this back up, and doing it this way. So let me show you. I'm gonna line my ruler up with the 20 degrees, make a mark on my scrap paper. Okay, so now I've got a mark on my scrap paper. And what that allows me to do is then line that mark up and make my line that way. So you can see that either way I was pretty close, whether I did it this way or whether I slid the protractor out from underneath. Okay, that's our 20-degree angle. Now we're going to go back to that 45-degree angle, which we've been working a lot with, so you should be getting good at measuring that. So you're going to line your protractor up. And again, if you've been having trouble marking things, you can use that scrap paper to help you. So you can do your 45-degree mark. You may want to erase your mark from your 20 degrees. Slide that to 45 degrees. Make sure it's lined up with the point here, or the intersection of the vertical and horizontal line. Mark your 45 degrees. Line that up. Okay, and then for our final one, we're going to do a 60-degree measurement. So I'm going to do the same process, lining this up, and I can line up my ruler. And for this one, I can actually pretty easily mark it on my white paper. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark that. And go ahead up. So we've got 3 very different angles here. So a 20, a 45, and a 60. Now let's go ahead and see what these are if you just have a ruler. So I'm using my inch measurement, and let's see if you can remember how to do this. So we have, remember that there are 16 on my ruler. Count and see, do you have 16 or 32? We're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we are at, so we do, remember how to do that? 6 over 16. divide by 2 would be 3/8. So we're doing a measurement of 3/8 of an inch, okay? So let's go ahead down to our next one and see what this one measures if we just have an inch ruler. That measures exactly 1 inch. So the first one equals 3/8 of an inch. The second one is 1 inch. Let's see what this one is. All right, let's do our measuring. So we have 1 inch, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 16ths. Okay, so, or, let's make sure, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, yeah. All right, so that would be 1 11/16 inch. All right, let's go ahead and cut these little guys. Just go to the end carefully. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take our ruler and we're going to fold these. I'm just turning my paper this way because it makes it easier for me to fold it right now. I'm holding my ruler in place. I'm going to fold this little guy up. I'm going to flip them over and fold them to the back. Okay, I'm going to move on to the next one. Flip it over, fold it to the back. Flip it over again. Fold it to the front. Flip it over. Fold it to the back. Okay, so now what we're going to do, just fold these straight down. We're going to open this up, and just like before, we're going to use our finger from behind to pop this out. So I'm going to do that with each of these. Okay, then I'm going to fold it. Okay, so now we're seeing very different effects depending on which angle you're using. So, you know, it does make a difference. So if you're thinking about a design and you're looking to make a person and you want to use this as the nose, this is a little bit maybe more effective than a 20-degree angle. Or if you're looking to make a bird and you want to make a beak, depending on what type of bird it is, maybe you want a 45-degree angle versus the 60-degree angle. So it's something to think about, that the angle that we measure at and then that we fold at changes the effect of the pop out or pop up. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take this and we're going to glue it into our visual journal. Okay, so I've got my visual journal ready, and I'm going to open this up on the back, and I've been doing this on top of a scrap paper, and I'm just going to go ahead and put my glue on there. Now remember that the glue always goes on this one, not in the journal page. Okay, it's easier to know where to put it on this than it is to know on here. So, small amount of glue, making sure that we are not getting our glue on any of the pieces that we need to pop out or pop. So I'm just going to go ahead and spread my glue out. Start with less glue. You can always add more if you need it. You've probably heard an art teacher or a parent or another teacher say somewhere along the way, a little bit of glue can go a very long way. Okay, so we're going to take this, and again, that crease in our visual journal and the crease in the pop-up we just made help us find the correct placement. So you want to just line that up in there. Press it in place along there. And then if you just fold it over and press it down, you'll find that it's pretty much in place. Okay? All right, so these are all single V folds. So let's go ahead and label these. These are single V folds. We had 1-inch cuts. And the first one, was a 20-degree angle. The second one was a 45-degree angle. And the last one was a 60-degree angle. And part of the reason I'm writing this information down is because later on, when I go to design a pop-up page, I'll have these notes to help me remember, oh, you know what, I want to use this to make a person. That's a 60-degree angle. Or this is an interesting one, it's a little too small, so I know that whatever I'm doing, I want to use more than a 20-degree angle. So it's just helpful to write some notes in your journal as you're working to help you remember some of this information. All right, so we are going to come back in the next video and we're going to start making some adjustments to these V folds. We're going to do a double V fold with some adjustments to help you start getting those creative juices flowing and thinking about a design that you could come up with, something original, using either a single V fold or double V fold. All right, see you in the next video.